Walter was overweight, constantly tired, stiff, and weaker than he'd been in a long time. But after just 90 days of us working together, he was able to drop 30 pounds of body fat, 6 inches off his midsection, gain strength, and he actually built real momentum in his health and fitness that he's still maintaining to this day, all while working a demanding job, raising a family. And here's exactly how we helped him do that. Got extreme dieting, long workouts, 2-a-days, bringing Tupperware containers to the birthday parties, giving up free time at the end of the day. None of that. Let's dive in. First off, my name is Monty Harden, personal trainer, strength and conditioning, and sports nutrition coach since 2017. Over that time, we've helped hundreds of men drop stubborn fat, build lean muscle, and get healthier than they've ever been. One of the biggest catalysts and reasons for that is our Metabolic Minute email newsletter, where every day send you a 60-second read, very short, succinct, and actionable strategies to get in the best shape of your life. So if you click the first link down in the description, you can access that, and then straight to your inbox, you're gonna get the tools you need to get results just like these guys. First off, when we started working together, just physically, he was not at a place where he was confident. His shirts weren't fitting the right way. His pants were smaller than they needed to be. He was losing confidence in business situations, not liking what he saw in the mirror, standing at the back to take pictures. Same place that you might be or you might have been at some point, where it's like you just thought about your body constantly. You thought about how things looked and how clothes fit and all these different things. And one of the first things we wanted to do is get his body to a place, get his health to a place, and then get his actual habits to a place where he had that confidence in himself, in the way he looked, in the way he felt. And a lot of people think that you have to get to like this, stage ready look, or you have to look like a professional athlete to have supreme confidence in how you look. That's not the case. It's primarily about how you treat your body. When you start treating your body well, when you start doing things that you know are going to get you closer to where you want to be, that's what breeds the confidence. Work breeds confidence. Effort breeds confidence. Consistency breeds confidence. And that's what we were able to instill in him. And that's something that had been missing since he started having kids, since he started having more on his plate in his career. It was harder and harder to build that consistency, but that's one of the things that we helped him increase and improve as a result of the systems that we put together. So we have 4 key things that we prioritized that helped him see this type of progress in 90 days. First off, very simple nutrition rules. Protein first, something fibrous on the plate every single meal. So that means we had 50 to 75 grams of protein on the plate by way of eggs, salmon, chicken, beef, steak, shrimp, tilapia, whatever he wanted that was a lean, high quality protein on our list of eat more of proteins. And if you want the list to our food bank and exactly what our guys use to decide what things they should lean towards and what things they should have less of, all you got to do is click the second link down in the description, or the first link rather, and you can download that. We just stuck to that list of like what proteins are lean, what proteins give us high quality fats if they have some fats in them, and let's just eat more of those. We prioritize those on his plate, and we also prioritize, like I said, those high fiber foods. One of the biggest things and one of the biggest detriments that a lot of guys face in their health journey is feeling hungry all the time while they're trying to drop body fat. And the fact is, you're gonna feel a little bit of hunger if you're eating less than you were accustomed to eating. You kind of have to deal with that. But if you're severely hungry, if you're like starving every single day, it's only a matter of time before you can't sustain that anymore, and you go on the binge cycle, and which causes the restrict cycle, which causes the binge cycle, which is probably where you've been for a long time now, in this back and forth and back and forth. One of the things that protein and fiber does is it keeps you very satiated, very full. You eat a high protein, high fiber meal, something like salmon with whole grain toast, or let's say steak with some Brussels sprouts, something like that. Like if you eat these high fiber, nutrient filled foods, you're gonna go 3-4 hours before you even think about food again. And if you do that 3 times, that's the vast majority of your awake hours. So that's why it's so impactful and so valuable to have those highly satiating foods inside the diet. Next piece of the puzzle is gonna be his training structure. So Walter played football. And if you know anything about football, you know that football coaches absolutely love the weight room, and for good reason. It's a huge part of being good as a football player is being physically strong. But football coaches and football strength and conditioning coaches tend to really like to keep you in the weight room. I'm talking an hour and a half, 2 hour, 3 hour sessions where you're always trying to max out. Like, that's kind of the culture of high school football and even college football. And he kind of had that same mentality coming in where he was like, if I can't work out for an hour and a half, 2 hours, then I'm just not going to do it. And unfortunately, I'm working 10 hours a day. Then I have to come home and, see my kids, and I have to hang out with my wife at some point. And before he knew it, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, and there's no time to work out, especially not an hour and a half. So what we needed to do was create him a simple 30-minute system where he was able to get into the gym, get into a workout within 30 minutes, was able to strength train, get some compound movements in that were actually going to help him build up muscle, increase his metabolism, gain strength without having to be in the gym all day. We did about 5 minutes of priming, getting him ready for the movements, and then about 20 minutes of lifting, picking 3 different exercises that might look like bench press, shoulder press, and then tricep push downs if we were doing a push day. And then we were going to our cool down the last 5 minutes. And that was the structure for the entire 3 months. So he knew that he had about 30 minutes to really go hard and get after it. And then he was able to get in and out. And this was monumental with helping him stay consistent, because anybody can find 30 minutes. I promise you, if you look on your calendar right now, you can find yourself 30 minutes to get a great workout in. So it was all about getting the timing right and then getting the structure right so that he got the most bang for his buck every single workout. Next piece of the puzzle is just adjusting for his family and his work life. You've got lunch outings that you have with the team. You've got your family that might have different nutritional preferences. And, a lot of our guys don't want to grab a completely separate grocery list from the rest of the family. So what we were doing was figuring out what he already ate, figuring out what he already did. The company that he worked for was having catering and, bringing food and having meetings and things like that where they were supplying the food. So now all we did is, choose the best option available that was there. And then for dinner, we would kind of, make some adjustments to, let's say if we had some spaghetti, for example, which is a very common meal when you got young kids in a family, especially. It's super easy to prep. We just simply threw some salad on the side, and then we threw a protein in there, because a lot of times one of the biggest problems with spaghetti and pastas is that the protein intake is so diluted in it, and you've got so much more sauce and pasta than you do actual protein. So we put his protein on the side so that we knew how much he was getting in, and then we threw another, once again, high fiber, high quality side in there, as opposed to having some bread or something like that. So now we're double carbing, and we never double carb. You never want to double carb unless you're prepping for a race or like a powerlifting meet or something like that. Other than that, you do not want to double carb, and that's something that we prioritized with him inside his nutrition, and that allowed him to eat the same thing as the rest of his family, but just make a few tweaks that weren't a large pattern interrupt to what they were doing. And then lastly was the mindset shift, and it probably was arguably the most important part of the puzzle, because guys coming in have so many preconceived notions on like what a healthy diet should look like, or what being consistent in the gym should look like. And a lot of times those preconceived notions are what's throwing you off, because you feel like you're so far from this incorrect assumption that you have about what it takes to get your body in great shape. You feel like you're so far off from that you just don't even try. But the fact of the matter is, being consistent, even in the small things, is what keeps your health front of mind. It keeps you focused, it keeps you dialed in, it keeps you motivated, it keeps you from self-sabotage. When you have 4, 5, 6, 7 different little habits throughout the day, like getting in a high quality breakfast, walking before your work day starts, walking at the end of the day with your family instead of lounging on the couch and going straight to the game or straight to Netflix or whatever it is, and drinking water more consistently throughout the day. Like, you add up enough of these seemingly small, inconsequential habits, and before you know it, your day-to-day has completely transformed, and now it's easy for you to drop stubborn fat and make better decisions, because you've built on so many of those small habits. And we focused on that mindset, and I think it was monumental for him. So like I told you before, we dropped 30 pounds of body fat, 6 inches off the waistline, got stronger and more consistent than he's been in probably 17 years. And these are his own personal thoughts on what the journey has been like so far.
Byproduct of going through the Harden Athletics program with Coach Montel. Coach Montel has been able to help me transform the way I look at food, my relationship with nutrition, my relationship with working out, realizing that sometimes less is more. And I say that knowing that I was one of those people that struggled to get down in weight. I was always in love and loved moving and working out, but being able to harness that, understand what my body needed, how I was able to fine-tune nutrition. And coming into this, I struggled a little bit with understanding why I needed a coach, why I needed accountability. But in working with Coach Montel, it's been a huge blessing. Been able to see the importance of having someone there to push you and train you and give you what you need as far as structure and programming. And I'm forever grateful for it. Down 45 pounds, plan to continue that journey and continue to push through that. So again, so grateful for that. Grateful for being able to work with Coach Montel. And if you're sitting on the fence thinking about it, don't think about it, just do it. Set up a meeting, get to know him, talk to him a little bit, talk about your goals and what you want to accomplish, and he'll help you.
So if you're like Walter and you're ready for your transformation, if you're ready to stop using the fact that you're a dad as an excuse, or the fact that work is demanding as an excuse, and you understand that you're just gonna have to figure it out in the midst of all that, would love to help you. If you click the second link down in the description, you can take our what's called our metabolic profile, where we're gonna get all the info that we need on you, your body, your goals, your struggles, your schedule, everything that we need to fully understand why you are where you are now. And then we're gonna help you figure out how to get where you wanna be in a strategic step-by-step fashion, and we'll send you the full game plan on exactly how we'd help you get that done. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to click that link down in the second description, and I will reach out personally to help us make it happen. If you got value from this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so that you don't miss any more uploads going forward. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.